Hello and welcome back to Vox Terra, fellow Vox Terrans. Today's show was provided by or suggested by one of my subscribers, at least I hope he or she is a subscriber, that I cover green stimulus to get us out of the COVID-19 recession. So to then he or she posted a link to a Reuters article, and I thought I'd do a little more digging. So I'm going to cite from you and quote from you today from a Green Biz article. And remember, I do some accents sometimes during the show. From Green Biz and also The Guardian. The first article from Green Biz, leading economists say, Green COVID-19 recovery, best for jobs and growth, May 8th, 2020, by Michael Holder. The next article I will cite from, The Guardian. Study says green stimulus can repair global economy and the climate, May 5, 2020, by Fiona Harvey. Quoting from The Guardian, climate crisis will deepen the pandemic. A green stimulus plan can tackle both. From Green Biz. University of Oxford study, published in May, Oxford Review of Economic Policy, assessed a host of potential COVID-19 recovery packages and concluded there is significant potential to align economic growth and accelerate the push towards net zero emissions. The Oxford study critically evaluated the benefits of tackling climate change alongside delivering economic recovery. Assessing more than 700, can you dig it, 700 stimulus policies undertaken by governments and the resulting impact since 2008. Led by a team of internationally renowned economists, including Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz and the United Kingdom's Lord Nicholas Stern and Cameron Hepburn. Any relation to Katharine Hepburn? Global emissions are expected to plummet an unprecedented 8% in 2020 due to what the article calls the lockdown measures. But mostly I'm citing from Green Biz. The article warns, but the recovery could see both a sudden upsurge in greenhouse gases and an investment in new high carbon infrastructure that locks in increased emissions over the long term. And that's exactly why the environmental movement has been opposing new pipelines and new drilling and opening up the public lands for drilling like Donald Trump wants to do. And we've opposed fracking because we don't want to create a whole new generation of oil and gas infrastructure that nobody's going to want to walk away from because there's going to be too much money at stake. There already is too much money at stake. The article cites from the 2008 economic crisis. Do you remember that one? That one also had a big downturn in emissions. It said the stimulus packages from 2008 largely failed to take climate into account. So after that recession or that economic downturn, the emissions just went right back up again and continued to grow during the 2010s. The study cited that non-conditional support for high carbon industries such as airline bailouts perform the most poorly in terms of economic impacts and climate change metrics. So dollar for dollar on high carbon industries offers less economic return on investment and obviously poor outcomes in terms of the greenhouse gas emissions. And I would add to that other toxins like carcinogens that are often found in auto and diesel exhaust. The Oxford Review highlights renewable energy projects such as development of wind and solar farms as being the most effective forms of economic recovery spending, and clean energy installation is often labor intensive, creating twice as many jobs per US dollar compared to fossil fuel investments. Renewables are far less susceptible to offshoring the jobs and economic benefits elsewhere compared to other industries, the study argues. So you can see that if you've got a solar farm or a wind farm, it's harder to ship those jobs overseas because now they need to be maintained and built right here at home. Whereas the oil and gas can be brought in from other nations and that type of thing. Also, those jobs tend to be more labor intensive. Think about organic agriculture versus pesticide laden agriculture. Other stimulus policy areas scoring well in the study include spending on energy efficiency retrofits like weatherizing the home, insulating it. Clean energy research and development, I would assume that includes better storage, better transmission lines. Natural capital investment for ecosystem regeneration is the term used. And there I think we're talking about what I heard the Nature Conservancy refer to as ecosystem solutions, letting nature clean up our mess, if you want to put it very crassly, like allowing there to be forests. Those forests are natural buffers. Not only are they carbon sinks, are they sequestering all the carbon we're pumping the atmosphere full of until climate-driven wildfires burn them down. But not only are they sequestering all that carbon, they're also filtering other pollutants and making the air cleaner. Ditto, the same for allowing natural barriers along waterways that can protect and absorb the toxic runoff from all the application of lawn pesticides people use for some strange reason, and agricultural pesticides people are using when we could have organic farming. But those natural buffers also provide that service. The study also mentions broadband, bicycle-friendly roads, and flood protection. Now, to broadband, I just want to get into there'll be two conspiracy mindset thinking what would lead people to being tricked against having a greener economy. The one would be, when you hear the word broadband, you're going to start thinking about internet and Big Brother. And there I share that concern. I'm very concerned about internet privacy. But what I want to point out is that I do not hear Donald Trump calling for strong laws to protect us and let us have internet privacy. In fact, the people who are usually trying to tar or demonize people who care about our Earth usually are not calling for greater privacy protections online, are they? There are organizations that do call for that. Second, you're going to hear this idea about, by trying to decarbonize and sort of coordinate the recovery, people will say, well, see, it's control, big government. Look, the economy is already totally subsidized and always has been. So we're really talking about, what are we going to subsidize? Continue poisoning ourselves or getting away from that lifestyle? The Green Biz article wraps up with that in the EU, it seems there are some of the EU leadership is heeding calls for a greener, less toxic, or less greenhouse gas laden recovery, whereas they say across the Atlantic, the White House is taking a different stance. As most people understand by now, Donald Trump has been promoting oil and gas to the best of his ability. China, they say, is sort of a mixed bag, both creating more carbon infrastructure, but also creating more green infrastructure. So I would like to point out, though, there are environmentalists, people who care about the environment in any nation, China, the United States, Great Britain, and those people are thinking alike and need to work together. There are also people who want to stick with business as usual, who love the oil and gas industry, who love the nuclear power industry in each nation, China, Great Britain, the United States. So everything is international. People who like to claim that one side has the monopoly on local, or that environmentalists are part of international, it's nonsense. Oil and gas is completely international. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Please share the video. Please like. Please comment. And until next time, peace be with you.